you're on, and when you're on, that's me and that's you, and so we just morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. I'm Jonathan Green, and looking forward to our first race of the day. We've got a full day here on the Speed Tour, which will involve Formula 4, F4 Americas, we've got Trans Am, and of course, SBRA coming your way. But I'm delighted to be joined by a young man who is going to be racing for Jay Howard next year, but he's now in the development program with Jay Howard, and he hopes to be doing exactly this and doing exactly what this man, Alex Berg, is doing right now, the Canadian who was here in the commentary booth yesterday, and he's now starting pole position. There he is. His name is Eric Wisniewski. You've got to get my pronunciation right, first and foremost. Go ahead.
Eric Wisniewski.
Got it. And Eric is in the Jay Howard development program. Tell us, first of all, what that is and why you're not here immediately this weekend.
So basically, Scott Goodyear and Tony Perella have put on this amazing program for younger drivers.
Yep.
So ages like 14, because obviously you have to be 15 years old to be an F4. So drivers that are 14 years old can now compete in Formula Development, which is a series so you're instead of competing with the actual F4 guys, you'll be competing in SVRA events in Group 2. And so that's really great because it teaches you close battling, but also there's a high responsibility because those cars out there are irreplaceable. I mean, they're beautiful pieces of art, really. And so it teaches you to be a very respectful, responsible racer, but it also teaches you the ins and outs of racing.
That's a very good point. Yeah, they are pieces of art. These are all Ligier chassis with Honda engines, a Honda Civic engine. And so Honda, big part of this championship. And you're looking basically at the future of American racing right here. And Matt Christensen, who had a big off yesterday, is definitely one of those future stars. And I've seen them all come up. I've been following Formula 4 and F4 Americas since it began, actually. And really, really pleased. And I saw that was an FIA delegate here today. The idea being that eventually you can move on, try to gain super license points, and hopefully, if you're very lucky and you keep going from 14 years onwards, you can get in and eventually make it all the way to potentially Formula 1 or even IndyCars. Where would you like to see yourself, let's say at 21?
Oh, I'm not picky, so I'd take F1 or IndyCar. but I would love to get, make it a professional career in motorsport. So I'm just working my hardest and trying my best to work my way up through the ranks, and eventually make it to IndyCar F1 would be amazing.
You know, I think that's a good attitude because I remember when I started doing commentary, all the guys would come in and say they wanted to be the next F1 driver, and that was a great focus. But I also think you've got to measure expectations. You know, there's only 21 cars on the grid, and at the Indy 500 there's 33. Mm-hmm. You know, when you think about how many people are trying each and every year, there's 30 on this grid, and then every year there's a new crop. So it's almost, I don't think there's another sport in the world where it is so hard to become a top athlete.
It is, yeah. It's very exclusive. Only the best of the best can make it to the very top. So, you got to really try your hardest and, really push it beyond what you even think you can do to make it that far up.
Everybody's got a story. This man's got a great story. Andre Castro, he was pole position yesterday, but finished on the podium. But this is his first weekend of racing in this series. He's actually been looked after by a two-time Indy champion in Al Unser Jr., who's going to be with us next in a few hours' time when we do the Trans Am show. Looking forward to that. But some great stories along, along the paddock. Tell us your story. You're from Michigan originally. How did you get involved, or how did you get interested in racing?
So I actually went to my first race ever in 2016. I went to the Detroit Grand Prix in Belle Isle for the IndyCar race. And I actually went to the Trans Am paddock, and we met Rafa Matos and Doug Peterson of Three Dimensional. And they actually talked me into getting into racing because I wanted to be a race car driver, but I didn't really know how to. And so they told me to get into karting and stuff. So it took a couple of years of convincing from my mom, but we eventually were able to get into racing. There's not a ton of karting opportunities in Michigan, so what we did Bandolero racing, which is basically an oval kart. So we raced in Bandoleros for a couple of years, and just last year we won the national championship. So, and there's only one road course I've ever done in Bandoleros, and I loved it. I won like this mini road racing championship, and I loved it so much. I'm like, I got to get into road racing. So a couple of months ago, I did the Lucas Oil School of Racing.
Yep.
And I just kind of like figuring out how to drive a Formula car, really. And so we did that, got my SECA pro license, and then we just kind of found Jay Howard, and we did a couple of tests in February, and now I'm here.
It's funny, as you know, Jay Howard is an Englishman like myself. And I used to follow his career because he always used to do one-off rides at the Indy 500.
Yes.
And he was always like sort of lastminute.com, getting the money together and going racing. And, of course, now he's putting his money back and his expertise back into running the Jay Howard Development Program. And I think that's a really good fit for him. He didn't have the wherewithal to keep going in Indy, and now he's putting it back into the Junior Series. And he's a great guy to be around. He knows what he's doing, and he's got a lot of experience. Great guy to be around. Yeah,
he's a perfect coach, and yeah, he's just the best. I mean, he's great at kind of developing us young drivers into something very special. So, yeah, it's a great experience to be part of the Jay Howard driver development.
As we look down this grid, who do you know? Who do you talk to? Obviously, you know the Jay Howard drivers, but who's a friend of yours or who's helped you and helping you learn?
I'm kind of a shy guy, so I don't.
No, you're not. I don't believe that.
I haven't talked to a lot of them, but I mean, I kind of stay with the Jay Howard guys yet. But I mean, I want to kind of meet some of the drivers out here. I mean, yeah, they all seem like a lot of fun, and they all seem like good guys. So, and girls too. So.
Yep. Yeah, we've got two girls out there today, and always good to see. I spoke to both of them earlier, one 19, one 17. So we've got ages from 15 to, 26 when it comes to Raoul Hyman in FR this weekend. So everybody at that spectrum of learning and still sort of making their way in the world of racing. And looking forward to this weekend. A little bit different than yesterday. What did you learn yesterday? Because it was a bright, sunny day, and tell me what you do when you're watching, because you're also racing, aren't you?
Yes, yesterday I competed in Group 2 in SVRA. Started second place. I was racing against like Formula B cars, which are very fast. They have tons of power. So I got kind of gapped in the start, and took a couple of laps, but eventually I made my way through because I had way more downforce, and so I was able to make my way through the corners a lot quicker. And so, I got into the lead and led most of the race into the last lap, and then a lap car spun in front of me in the last corner of the last lap, and I was kind of got stuck there. So unfortunately finished 9th, but hope to turn that around today, later today at 2:55, I think, yes.
And so are you racing in one of these cars?
Yes, okay. I'm racing in the number 5 F4 car for Jay Howard Driver Development, and I'm racing basically against these pieces of art on the track. I mean, these cars are almost irreplaceable out here, and they're beautiful. And one of my favorite things especially about the Formula Bs, is that when you're driving behind them, they don't have an engine cover, so you can see all the parts working, and you almost get distracted, like, oh, there's my corner, because
I love it.
You're just like focusing on because you can see the gear changes, you can see the power being delivered to the wheels, and it's really cool. So it's a pleasure to race all these guys. They're super great, and they're really nice, and all very respectful, and it's a great time. I've learned a ton. So yeah, it's great.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of youngsters, young boys and young girls listening to you right now on the live stream thinking, oh, I fancy doing that. And so you can be a little bit of an inspiration for them. But I really like the idea of you using SVRA as a sort of stepping stone to get into the actual championship. Because am I right in saying you have to be 15 to go into the F4 championship?
Yes, yeah. Going into SVRA is great. I think Tony Perella and Scott Goodyear really did a very good job at kind of forming this, and because racing in SVRA really teaches you the fundamentals of racing and clean, just good racing. So yeah, it's great. It's been a very great experience so far.
Well, as you can see, we had a bit of a delay, but the cars are coming out. It's slightly cloudy. And you talk about these cars being pieces of art. Well, to quote a book, it might be the art of racing in the rain when it comes to your race. Are you any good at that? Because it could be raining later today.
I mean, I hope so. I tested in the rain once, and it was a blast. I mean, like, driving in the rain is super fun. You got to be very focused and very smooth with the wheel. So it takes a really good driver to master it. So, I mean, if it rains today, in the F4 race, it's looking a little overcast today, but I mean, we might see some amazing racing out here with the
I love it
rain.
when I tell you, because I always love the rain because it's a leveler on setup, because it really doesn't matter what setup you've got.
Yeah, a great equalizer.
Exactly. And then it becomes that sort of, well, who's got the real skill to control all that horsepower?
Yeah.
Because again, that's negated because you don't need all the horsepower, so it's not a matter of ultimate power. And it really is much more a case of being how gentle can you be? It's like ice skating at that point. You're on a knife edge.
It's a mix of being gentle but fast at the same time. It's a very thin line you got to be right on, and so when you can do it right, it's amazing.
Well, we're going to get into the racing in a minute, but last question to you, because like I said, there's probably a lot of little guys out there listening to you. Have you done sim work? Is that how you get started, computer games and so on?
Yeah, sim racing is a great start because it kind of sim racing really kind of teaches you kind of how to control a car. I mean, obviously there's less risk on a sim, but it's good because you can just go out there and learn how to drive. And so, I mean, whether you're starting, in go-karts or sim racing, I mean, like, follow your dreams and just work as hard as you can, because, I mean, if you just work as hard as you can and just try your best, you'll make it. You'll make it up to F4. So you just got to believe in yourself. Is the biggest thing. So you got to believe in yourself and your talent. And so, but yeah, if there's anybody out there, karting or sim racing, I mean, is an amazing start to get into this.
And if anybody's interested in following your career, you mentioned the car number. Have you got social media? Or?
Yes, I'm the number 5 car for JR Driver Development. You can follow me on Instagram at Wisniewski_25 and Facebook at Eric Wisniewski Racing. So you can kind of follow my road to Indy, so to speak.
And what about sponsors? How do you go about that? Because at 14, I would have thought it's hard to go, put your suit on and go around to all the offices and get meetings.
It is very hard, but thankfully I've met some great people. People at Southside Auto Sales and Remax Commercial Group have really helped me progress through. I wouldn't be here without sponsors. I mean, as many people know, racing is not a cheap sport. So,
no,
not at all. So, I mean, sponsors are super vital, and I'm so happy to be able to have amazing sponsors like them to help me progress through racing.
Well, we're about to get away with race 2 from Mid-Ohio. This is round 8 of the series. They've already been to NOLA, and they've already been to Road America. But this, the second race of the weekend, and a very lucky Alex Berg on pole position. I had the privilege of chatting just like I did with you yesterday, getting to know him. And he, too, like yourself, is an up-and-coming star. And looking with that pink helmet, he said, "You won't miss me. I'm in the 08, but I've got a big pink helmet." And there you see it.
Yes.
You can't miss it. And alongside him is a guy I've been following for quite some time, Ryan Sheehan. He lives in Austin, Texas, where I live. And he went to the Circuit of the Americas to saw a Formula One race a few years ago. And he said to his dad, "I want to do this." And here they are, which is a great story.
Yeah, it
so,
is, yes.
Yep, a lot of dreams being fulfilled here as we get ready for our second race. Eric alongside me getting ready for the start. Here we go then. Race 2 from Mid-Ohio. Away they go. A little bit of wheel spin, but a good start from our pole man, Alex Berg, looking in the mirrors, making sure that Ryan Sheehan doesn't get a jump on him, and he does get away well. Nicely done. Morris has got a good start too as they head down to the big machine. Vodka Spike Cooler's keyhole for the first time. It is Alex Berg of Canada that leads the way. Nice clean start. Be
interesting to see how long Alex Berg can hold this off. I mean, he's got a lot of hard-charging field behind him, so it'd be really cool to see if he can hold him, how long he can hold him off, or maybe he can hold him off to the end. But looks like he's got some a charging Ryan Sheehan.
Yeah, Sheehan's already alongside him. Now, Sheehan might try something really special here, which is to go around the outside at 4, because I noticed it's quite cambered there. You can try it, but now look at this, a three-way battle for the lead. Sheehan doing exactly what I thought he might do, but he hasn't pulled it off. Berg's closed the door on him, and Sheehan will have to fight again as they come through 5, down the hill again, and through the S's for the first time. Really good start. Nice stuff. Already 23 minutes, and so far a clean start to this one. Berg of Canada leading then from Ryan Sheehan of Austin, Texas.
Noah Ping with a great start too. I mean, he's made some good spots up. I mean, I saw him. I think there was a move on the outside around turn 5. So I mean, he's getting up there pretty quick.
Well, let me ask you this. If you were Ryan Sheehan now and you know this track, you were out here yesterday, you'll be out here this afternoon, where would you make a move now on Alex Berg? Where would you wait a little bit, or would you try to get ahead early, and where would you try?
I think for right now, I'd be pretty patient, because it's kind of, this is the last part of the track's kind of a difficult spot to make a move. So I would try to set it up for turn 2. Yep. And if you can't, the keyhole, and if you can't make it through there, kind of regroup and make a move down into turn 4, because I mean that's a great confidence tester right down there.
Yeah, no question about it, and that is a very good idea, and that's exactly what the 65 is trying to do on the inside of the keyhole. Wow, there's some drama here, and Jay Howard are right in the middle of it. Noah Ping, several cars all jostling for position. Great start to this one, and away we go. But right now, Alex Berg still leading the way. But it's side by side. Here comes Ryan Sheehan again on that outside move. And this time he's really kept his foot in, but he can't quite do it again. He's going to try it again, but Berg is wise to it by the looks of things. But if they're not careful, as these two fight, they're going to get in trouble, because the man behind them is right there. What a close start. Really good stuff. And I'm just looking far back. Castro a little further back than he was yesterday. And we're looking down from the drone. I love this drone shot. As they come into Thunder Valley, you can really see how far they are away from each other, yeah? It's good stuff. So who are you rooting for? Who's your guy?
I mean, I'm always cheering for my boys, Jay Howard Driver Development.
Yeah.
But it looks like Lockie Hughes has made some spots up, so...
Well, he needs to. Yeah, he's the championship leader, and he had a rotten day yesterday, so I'm hoping he does better today.
Yeah, that'd be great, because, I mean, I think the top 3 are only separated by a couple of points, so, I mean, he's really got to make some moves up here in the front to keep that championship lead.
Yeah, for those of you who weren't with us yesterday, Bryson Morris took a great win, the man from Tennessee, and Ryan Sheehan was second in that race. Andre Castro, who started from pole, actually finished 3rd, Gabriel Fonseca 4th, and Alex Berg, the man you're watching now, in the lead, or just about in the lead, because Ryan Sheehan's trying it every which way and loose to get by. Look at this stuff. This is excellent. Ryan Sheehan on a strip at the moment. There you see it. Berg, Sheehan, Ping. Noah's up to 3rd place now. Then it's Hughes. The championship leader, Morris, Castro, Fonseca. Isambard is in 8th place, then Christensen, and rounding out the top 10 is Brown. Look at this. Sheehan again at turn 4, tries round the outside. The inside line should give him the lead at the next corner, and he's holding off Berg. Well, technically I've seen Takuma Sato do that, and Alex Rossi, but not 3 wide. But look at this. Ping's coming through. He's going to try and take both of them. Wow, that was brave.
Yeah, great move by Ping. I mean, he's being patient really paid off there. I mean, Berg and Sheehan really had a scrap there, and Ping just kind of was just staying back and just waiting for that move, and he got it done. So I mean, yeah, good job on him.
Yeah, I feel for Sheehan there, because he tried a really good move and he almost pulled it off, and then he got duffed up effectively, as coming into shot now is the number 6 of Lockie Hughes from the Gold Coast in Australia. So he's definitely, whatever he's done overnight, he's turned it round, because he's right in the thick of it now. And look at Sheehan. I think his concentration has gone, and he's kind of not lost it, but it's really knocked him back a little bit. That confidence that he had right at the start here, he's going to have to rebuild now, because he's lost a few places.
Yeah, getting a little frazzled there.
Whoa! Berg holding on for dear life now. That's Hughes coming into picture now, side by side, as they head down the big straight.
Amazing scrap for 1st place here. I mean, Berg's doing a really good job trying to hold off everybody. I mean, yeah, he's doing good.
Well, the power is with Hughes. It looks as though Berg's got a problem of some sort, yeah, because he's kind of going from side to side. It's as though the suspension's loose or something, because it doesn't look as controlled. It's something weird. Ben Sissel just pointing that out to me, my co-commentator for the rest of the weekend. But at the moment, it's Lockie Hughes from Australia who leads the way in that number 6, the J. Howard development car doing the business. Yeah, let's keep an eye on 4th place, because there's definitely something awry. The car just isn't. Look, it's.
Oh yeah, it's wiggling about.
It's wiggling about as though the suspension's bent, or possibly a slow puncher.
Oh no, yeah, that's a shame.
Real shame.
Yeah, real shame. He was doing so well. I mean,
yeah, he's pulled off line.
Ah, dang. Oh.
What a shame. That's racing, folks, as they say. As we look at Morris in 6th place. Bryson Morris, who won this race yesterday. There he is in the number 39. Just behind him, Fonseca, the 76. And sadly, Alex Berg is going further and further back, just as Sheehan has. So this race has changed completely in the last couple of laps. Well, Eric, we've got a time now to relax a little bit. Your guys in front, and now Castro, who had been pole position, and it looks as though Alex Berg is coming into the pit. So they'll have a look at that car, and sure enough, here he comes. What a shame. No pit stops expected in these races. And there we see it, thanks to Mr. Garcia, and he's shaking his head in that pink helmet. Rear suspension is what we suspect.
Oh, yeah.
What a shame. Yeah, they're having a look at it. And it could be as simple as either getting... oh, yeah. Badly bent. So he's either touched another car, or that has just kind of made itself loose and bent as the race has gone on. But either way, you can't race like that. They'll get him out of there again, but or get him out. Yeah, they're putting on a new tyre. But shame. Bent left suspension then, and that's all it takes. Have you had any mechanical issues yourself this year?
Not too many. I mean, I've had some coming out of the pits, but not too many out on track, which I'm very thankful for. But looks like I think Berg might have gotten that damage from racing Sheehan so hard. I mean, they're wheel to wheel. Maybe he picked it up, maybe hitting a curb too hard at a wrong angle.
Tell me a little bit about this track. What's it like to race? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it?
Oh, it's one of my favorite tracks I've ever raced at. I mean, it's a beautiful circuit. It's very fun, very tricky and technical, though. I mean, you gotta be really on it. And looks like Sheehan.
Somebody locked up. I can hear it.
Has a problem. He's falling back real fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, very tricky technical track, and you got to be very focused. And I mean, it's hard. So I mean, you gotta really push it harder than you think you can.
Yeah.
You gotta get every little ounce of your performance out here to be fast. So, but yeah, the keyhole is one of my favorite parts of the track. It's just like you're going up. It's kind of an uphill braking zone, so you can brake a lot harder because of gravity's pulling you down.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're braking like past the 100 board. So yeah, it's great fun, and then kind of gotta have perfect rotation around the corner and get right back on the gas hard. So.
Yeah, and that is important to get early on the gas out of the keyhole so that you can get that speed up the long straight. Yeah.
Because when you lose time on the keyhole, it just multiplies down the straightaway because you're losing all that top speed going down.
All right. Well, we're getting into the nitty gritty. The man who was pole yesterday and on the podium is coming through the ranks. Castro, and he's third again. There he is in that number 8, but he's got a lot of pressure from yesterday's winner, and that's Bryson Morris. And in the championship, it's pretty darn close in the championship at the moment, because at the start of this weekend, there was not a lot between those fighting for the championship. Overall, Lockie Hughes was leading by 95 points. Matt Christiansen, who crashed yesterday, he needs some points. But a good day for Bryson Morris, who was 5th at the start of the day, and so many of them were in the mid-60s. 68 for Nicholas Rivers, Noah Ping on 66, Bryson Morris, who's now moved up after starting with 65 yesterday, and Alex Berg, who sadly is not having the best of days today, but he got points yesterday. So it's getting tight at the front of the battle for the lead, as Bryson Morris does get past Castro for 3rd place.
He would love nothing more than another podium today to build some more points.
Tell the fans out there that want to do this, they've probably all done a little bit of sim racing or a little bit of karting. What's the hard thing to learn? What are you learning each and every day?
Just like car control. I mean, from going from like bandoleros, which is basically kind of a go-kart, kind of handles the same.
I love bandoleros.
Yes.
They're awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because like as you go through fast corners in bandoleros, like to get more grip, you kind of have to get off the gas.
Right.
But in these cars, actually more throttle gives you more grip because you got all that aero. So it's kind of counterintuitive actually. So it's kind of cool that when you go faster, you just get more and more grip, and it feels better the faster you go.
Yeah, it's a mental game, isn't it? Because you've got to trust the car is designed for probably more grip than you're thinking it's able to do.
Oh yeah, that's actually kind of my thing I'm kind of struggling with lately, is just having the confidence in myself and knowing how much grip the car actually has.
Yep.
But as I'm doing more and more races, I'm building more confidence in myself and in the car.
Keep an eye on, somebody going, that was Flores, I think, going onto the dirt for a moment.
I think it was Seth Brown actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep, Seth Brown just ahead of Flores. Good point. Yep, 8th position for him. And a good battle between these two now. Fonseca and Brown going at it side by side. And the 22 of Flores just ahead of them. Then there's the number 4, Brown. Whoa, a little touch there. Robbins Racing, as they say. Good stuff, though. I like it. Keeping an eye on Carrera. He's moved up to 11th. I was talking to Raul Hyman about him. He's a young Argentinian who's raced in Europe already and the Spanish F3 Championship, trying out America for the first time. So we welcome all comers, as it were. We've had some great Mexican drivers here. We've had Argentinians, Uruguayans, and a few Brits, as well, of course, as a host of American and Canadians. This is the first level, slicks and wings, on the ladder to racing success. So you really are seeing the young blood, effectively, of the future of racing in America, if not worldwide. And of course, these championships, F4 and F3, are national championships as well as international championships. We've got the FIA F3, which currently runs with F1 on a lot of the similar dates. And of course, that's where a lot of the Americans, like Logan Sargent, who is now signed up with one of the F1 teams, start their way. Kyle Kirkwood started just this way too, and now he's, of course, an IndyCar driver, doing a great job. I remember him doing F4.
Great battles all through the midfield, trying to get that, just a couple of points. But yeah, some amazing battles.
This is Carrera that we're looking at now, the Argentinian, and he's battling hard with Bennett. Barker down in 18th position, his first season, the man from Houston, Texas. Caceres, one of the female drivers, she's in 19th position at the moment. And Sheehan, sadly, has dropped down all the way to 21st. And I wonder if he, too, like Berg, obviously Berg's coming to the pits, that's why he's so far down. But I wonder if Sheehan's also got some mechanical issue, because he did sort of drop out of sight.
Yeah, I think he went in the pits, too, so I think both of those guys had some mechanical issues.
Whoa, Noah Ping risking it all there. And now that's Maddie Aust in the number 9 for Crosslink Kiwi Motorsports. She spun it round, the girl from Fort Worth, Texas.
She's going to try to get it going so they won't call caution, but yeah, I think she'll be able to get it going.
Well, she's got 4 national titles in cheerleading, so she knows how to spin round, that's for sure. Sorry. She won't forgive me for that one. But no, she was telling me about that. What a career change. So, hey, girls, if you fancy yourself out there and a racing driver, you can do it from cheerleading. How about that? But she was a very good cheerleader, I may add. She was second in the world.
Wow.
So not bad at all. And Madison Aust, a name to remember for the future. We've had Chloe Chambers here last year. She's now in the W Series and going well. And it's great to see the success stories of all the drivers that come into this championship and then move on to other championships. It's always nice to keep up with them.
Ping's really pushing to get to the lead here, but Lockie Hughes just holding them, keeping a little safe distance between them.
Well, let me ask you this, We've talked about overtaking. What about the sort of opposite of overtaking, which is to try to force your opponent into a mistake? Could that be a way of doing it, or trying to get that lead?
Yes.
Bryson Morrison. So how do you go about that? Do you just keep sort of nudging?
So like, it's all, again, like you said, it's all a mental game, really. Just a pretty well-known move to get in driver's head is just to like going into a corner from a long straightaway, just kind of move out, get in their mirrors a little bit and then get right back in. Even if you can't complete the pass, just so they can see you.
Absolutely. Make yourself as big as you can.
Yes, and then they'll be looking in their mirrors, and when you're looking in your mirrors, you're not looking forward.
You're not looking forward. Yep. Scott Goodyear will tell you that. So how have you been working with one of the greats of American racing, the Canadian Scott Goodyear? Does he give a good talk to?
Oh yes, yeah. He's been really great, and so yeah, it's really cool to be able to work with all these huge names.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only in F4, but I mean, like, there's so many huge names here, and it's just really cool because you get all this exposure to all these greats. So,
absolutely. I saw Roberto Moreno. And I was in Monaco to name drop a little bit, but Roberto was racing historic Formula One, of course, was a Formula One driver himself, and he's now with TJ Sport right here in the paddock here.
Wow.
And then they've got little Al, of course, a two-time champion in Indy and a two-time winner of the 500. Not a bad place to be. So you never know who you're going to bump into at this racetrack. So we're getting down to the business end now. 8 minutes to go. Bryson Morris very much in the hunt after winning yesterday. Yesterday's podium was Morris, Sheehan, and Castro. Sheehan's not going to be there this time, and we're going to have a very different finish to this one. But there's still more racing to come from this. It's been clean, though. No cautions so far. Slight delay at the start as we look at Arturo Flores from Ganella Racing. Field spreading out there as they head down towards the keyhole again. This is the corner we were talking about a moment ago, getting the drive out of here, because from here all the way down to turn 4 is a long, long way. I mean, it probably feels like it's forever, right?
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it's like you're thinking like, man, how long is this going to take? I mean, get the watch out.
Yeah. Like, do your homework.
Yeah.
So how's schooling going? Do you still do a little bit of that?
Oh yeah, just got it out of 8th grade, so
okay, good.
I'll be a freshman next year, so yeah, I got to keep all A's to be able to race. So working as hard as I am on track as I am in school. So
that's good. Well, that's a good attitude, and I'll tell you what, that is a smart move too, because I know a lot of racing drivers who think that's all they're going to do for the rest of their life, and suddenly they get to 18 or 21, and it's like, now what? So yeah, keep up your schooling, whatever you do. But there's so many jobs in motor racing, and that's another side of this. It doesn't always mean that you have to be driving the car. It is the expensive part of it. But there's a whole career, there's a whole industry, and a really good fraternity in motor racing that is well worth being a part of. So if you're interested, you don't have to be the racing driver. You can be a mechanic, you can be an engineer, you can be a data acquisition man, you can even be a mechanic. There's plenty of jobs available. So car 22, Arturo Flores, at the moment, holding off the number 4 of
Seth Brown.
Seth Brown, yeah. Seth Brown from San Diego, California, another J. Howard development. So do you go to the debriefs that they do as well as your own?
Yeah, so I go to their debriefs, and I have debriefs as well. Just being in there and watching their video and seeing their data is really helpful for me, just so I can see what they're doing, and see what I'm doing, and see how I can improve myself to be like them.
And how hard is learning the data? Because that is a big part of modern day racing now.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with actually driving a car fast. It's all about analyzing. Yep.
Yeah, you got to be well at analyzing, and it's nice because we go through it and we replay stuff, and just so we can get a good understanding of what's happening and how we can fix it and improve.
Okay. And is your engineer working on this series as well? Is he working with one of the guys out there?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Taylor. My engineer's name is Taylor.
Which car is he working on now?
I think he's like, I think he's just like there to for extra
help.
Yep.
So here's the battle for the lead, Hughes and Ping. Hughes, the championship leader, leading the way, but he's not done it yet. Ping, as you can hear them locking up the wheels coming into the keyhole. And Ping putting really good pressure on him. Morris, who won yesterday, still in 3rd place. Then Christensen, who really needs the points. He's got ahead of Castro. Flores, who've been watching, in 6th place. Then Brown Fonseca. Isambard is in 9th position. Then Bennett rounds out the top 10.
Pretty impressive that VRD got that Christensen's car back together.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a pretty nasty
Did you ever find out what happened to that? Did you hear?
I think he, there's something in the keyhole. Might have lost. I think maybe lost control.
Okay.
Coming in the keyhole.
Well, it was a big crash yesterday.
Yeah.
That brought out the red flag. We had to stop proceedings while Christensen, and as you say, they've done a lot of work to get that car back in action.
Yeah, doing a good job. P4, it's pretty good.
Very good indeed. And here is car number 21, and that's Caceres, the 19-year-old from Uruguay. She's about to go study chemical engineering in Barcelona, she was telling me. And her father, in fact, is involved in the Formula E because she's from Punta del Este in Uruguay. And that's, I don't know if you've seen any Formula E, but that's one of the best races in the Formula E Championship. So it's great to have them on board. And she working for International Motorsport. This is just her first time out in Formula racing. She did a test in Arizona for the W Series, but yeah, learning her way. Looks like a slightly bent wing for Ping.
Oh yeah,
just slightly. That's all. But it won't help down the straight. Do you feel it when it's slightly not right?
Yeah. It's kind of weird, especially going from cars without aero. When it's slightly off, you can feel it, especially in the corners sometimes too. You get maybe a little understeer or sometimes an oversteer, depending on how it's bent.
And we always talk about drafting. We see it in the Indy 500. We see it in Formula One. We see it even at this level. How close can you be to another car before you start feeling the effects of the air that's running over his car that's hitting yours?
It's usually around like a second, and
right.
But it's not super strong there, but you can kind of feel it. It's right when you get half a second and closer, you really feel it. Really
what
pulls.
happens? Is it just sort of
moves
about?
I mean, you can tell because you have shift lights on your steering wheel, and they just a couple more light up.
That's interesting because it basically sucks you in, of course, and that's what we call the draft. And you can certainly do it here at Mid-Ohio down that back straight.
Yeah, that back straight's great for it.
Lockie Hughes looking for a victory here, and he certainly grabbed this race by the tail for sure because since he got the lead and he made an audacious move to get it, just to remember, it was Ryan Sheehan who was going for the lead on Alex Berg, and out of nowhere, Hughes was popped in and did a great maneuver on both of them to take a position. And now Ping struggling a little bit perhaps with that wing, but it isn't showing in terms of overall speed anyway because he's stuck with Hughes. And at the moment with 2 minutes to go, we're waiting to see that white flag, see if it comes out next time. But we're getting down to a point now where Hughes should be feeling relaxed, but this is the worst time, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Because you start thinking, oh, I'm getting close to the check. What shall I say? When Ben Sissel comes up to me, what shall I say?
Yeah,
no, that could be a death knell. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, you always got to keep focus, even when you can almost feel the wind coming. You always got to keep 100% focused and just continue to hit your marks.
Out goes the number 2. That's Wessling. Now he was involved in an incident yesterday too because one of the J had. No, he's stuck. Very frustrating.
4 wide into the keyhole.
Here we go. Here's what happened. He goes into the keyhole. He's behind 3 cars. And what happens here? Does he touch? He just got on, I think. I'm not a racing driver. He looks as though he got on the power a little too early.
Yep.
And he was on the inside.
Yeah, a little too much wheel into it and got on the power a little too hard, a little too quick. So.
Well, he's stuck it now, and there's the checkered flag. So, yeah, that's going to end it there. But that's going to be a great win for Lockie Hughes, and pretty appropriate that I've got Eric. I'm going to say it again, Wisniewski.
Correct.
Whoa! Remember the name. He drives the number 5. He'll be in action in SBRA later today. I'll get your thoughts. What do you thought? Your guy won.
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, congrats to Lockie. I mean, he did a great race. Just
you know him? Do you speak to him?
Yeah. We're good friends. Yeah, he kept a good distance between him and Ping, a good safe distance, and yeah, he made a really good surprise move out of there. Everybody in the midst of chaos, he made a really good move. So, yeah, a pretty positive day for JR Driver Development. I think that's double points. I think Seth got points as well too.
Really good points.
Yeah.
And then they'll have one more point-scoring race later today. We'll be with you for that one, so stay tuned on the live stream if you want to catch that. We've also got FR action, but delighted to have 14-year-old Eric Wisniewski with me, a future star here of America, hailing out of Michigan. He's already been a star in Bandoleros. He's now doing the Junior Development Series for Jay Howard and will be on this grid in F4 next season, working with Jay Howard and the team. to see if he can become the next Kyle Kirkwood, the next Dakota Dickerson, the next champion of F4.
Thank you so much for having me. This
Absolutely,
is a blast.
my friend. Great to be part of what
Thank
you're doing,
you.
and great to meet you. Let's just quickly check out on the results then. Jay Howard, driver development with Lockie Hughes of Australia, wins ahead of Noah Ping and the Velocity Racing Development team. Dan Mitchell will be pleased. Bryson Morris is third with Crosslink Kiwi Motorsports, so he scored good points this weekend. Matt Christensen gets fourth after a disaster yesterday. Andre Castro, pole yesterday, on the podium, but fifth today for Future Star Racing. Arturo Flores of Mexico in sixth place. Seth Brown seventh. Gabriel Fonseca in eighth position for Crosslink. Carl Bennett ninth. Alan Islam. I always get his name wrong. Isambard. It's not an easy name, that one. 10 for International Motorsports. That's the top 10 for the Formula 4 Race 2, Round 8 of the series. My thanks to Eric Wisniewski, and we wish you well this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
And we wish you well in the future. Last time, give us your social. Tell everybody where to watch you.
The number 5, Jay Howard driver development car, white, red, and blue, and Instagram's Eric Wisniewski _25. Facebook is Eric Wisniewski Racing.
Am I going to see you win the 500, and will you wave to me when you do?
I will.
Good.
I'll
Don't forget me.
I'll get you pit passes.
There you go. Now I like you. Now I'm definitely going to get on your social and follow you. No, I said that to Alex Rossi, and he did wave. That was good, because I've been following his career all along too. All right then, that concludes our coverage of the first F4 race of the day. They'll be back out in action later, so they'll have time to fettle their cars and get ready for another one. But we've got some great action coming your way, including our feature race of the day, the TA2, a full grid of TA2 maestros, including the man that Eric here had a good chat with when he started his racing career, Rafa Matos, our champion.
Everything in our garage is inspired by our racing spirit. Racing for a great deal on the Honda CR-V. Only at the Honda Dream Garage Spring Event.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
And you know what? It'll be on you'll be able to see it on YouTube. Go ahead. I've got it now. I've turned it up a bit.
Okay. Are you going to do this again with us?
I hope so. Yeah.
Very welcome.
Thank you very much.
And likewise, SBRA, if your car's not running or something, and we got your race, I'll come and join me and Ben. You know Ben, right?
Or you can watch a little bit if you want. This is my favorite group coming